Good morning, everyone. Kitty Foss here, your storytelling astrologist, reader of the stars for April 3rd and April 4th. So, starting with the 3rd, it's a lot about resistance today. There are several squares to that Gemini moon in both Saturn and both of our retrograde planets that are both in Pisces now of Venus and Mercury. And April is about many of those retrogrades coming direct. So the action comes more outside of us than inside. But today, there's a lot of discernment that's being asked. So let me move on to that. So the 3rd is the day of resistance. Much discernment may be called out or outright dynamic challenge. See, these squares are a 90-degree angle. 90 is about the end of a cycle, a transformational kind of energy, and a completion. So there are many opportunities of growth today with our structures, and it really will depend on the structures you're going to be participating in. And that's true over these 2 days. The structures I'm aligning myself with and making sure I spend the time in the structures that help with this discernment, make the decisions. I like that discernment, making the decisions. So we start with that bridge planet, which is about our structures, our limitations, our boundaries. Saturn, it's our taskmaster planet. And there is discernment again with this Gemini moon of how am I going to experience, how am I going to work with this. And both of those retrograde energies are also in that square. And so it's about our Venus, our values, our balance, Mercury, our experience, how we communicate, and all working with this Gemini moon, processing intentionality, how to flow with these feelings, these ways we need to communicate. And because of the retrograde, very much it's an internal thought experience this week. And what am I doing with these boundaries, where I'm spending my time, and the structures and communications. So again, much discernment today. It's just today a pause. You know, it's a dynamic kind of challenge that really has us doing a lot of and tuning in today. And then we have, we'll need that time in order to really step back. Step back today. There's the best advice I could give you. And then, and tune in with those people that you trust too if you're feeling an imbalance in this. And tonight, as that moon moves into Cancer, Cancer moons are always very powerful because the moon rules Cancer. We have another square, another place of discernment with Spirit. So in our dreams, what is Spirit really asking us to take a look at, to nurture, to step into? And that sets up tomorrow's energy. And tomorrow leads us in the information to first use that discernment on where Spirit is leading us to start. And it's going to be about nurturing who you are, how you are moving through. It's not really about the bigger vision tomorrow at all. As a matter of fact, that moon is not in a conversation at all with our Pluto energy, but it is about flowing with structures. It's practical energy. The other thing that happens tomorrow is we have the very powerful Mars in a sextile with Uranus. We have Saturn in a sextile with Uranus, and so that's about activating energy. And then we also have, excuse me, that moon in a trine with our structures and in a square with our sun. What are we trying to start forward? So it's again about practical energy that will move us forward when we again use discernment and intention to nurture movement forward. So tomorrow may be a day to write, to sit back, to make a plan of something that you enjoy. So you spend some time in your own structure, really working with it, where to start, where to concentrate. Activating with intention our flow of how we're dealing with change, because our Uranus energy is able to be really worked with, and that is a chaotic energy, but it's a great awakening, and it's in Taurus, so it's stabilizing our structures, getting us comfortable with the change, and to align, and asking our will to align. And our will is in that pivotal energy. What does alignment look like? Tomorrow's a day you can kind of play with that a little bit. Am I making mountains into molehills in the structures I'm dealing with? Or am I really kind of stepping back, figuring out different ways of activating myself? Tomorrow's a great day to use the mantra, breathe. And how we'll use this pivotal energy is working with the flow. Our intention needs to be on some kind of nurturing for ourselves tomorrow, and it will be requiring a bit of a pause just so I can align my will, just so I can use that pivot and really come to understand how to nurture, even in the most chaotic energy, an awakening, and to align the spark to move forward. So again, there's that discernment between moon and sun tomorrow, the moon being in Cancer and the sun being in Aries. So where do I start? Where do I really move and bring that intuitive energy that is asking me forward, that private energy of ourselves? When you don't know, just pause tomorrow and align yourself with action of your value. Be the person your soul sees you as being, and tune in to your own thought patterns. And again, because we have this South Node in Virgo, look at the places you might be telling yourself you're not enough. And when the confusion steps forward, dance with it. Namaste.